Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace Peace Peace. Guru Sadguru Shivananda Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Shri Guru Vishnuvananda Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Jai. Om Namah Shivaya. So today's topic is something about Hatha Yoga.
Science.
The science. Right?
The science of Hatha.
The science of Hatha Yoga. Okay, let's talk about the science of Hatha Yoga. So we had this beautiful symposium about the different sciences and their interconnectedness in the different sciences coming from the Vedic tradition. Something happened? Something changed? Bring it up. Yeah. So yesterday, as the conclusion was there, and there was a wrapping up of the topic, Dr. Ramkumar Kuti was talking about different words that came to his mind that were really connecting all those sciences. But one word that is there for me, that connects all the sciences that come from the Vedic tradition and all the yogic path, is sacred. The word sacred. And by the way, the life mission of Swami Shivananda is encapsulated in two words that he named this organization. You know what is the organization that Swami Shivananda created? It is called, in fact, three words, but start with D. Divine Life Society. The whole idea of the yogic lifestyle, yogic practices, yogic disciplines is to create a divine life within me, which ripples out into a divine life in my interconnectedness with others, with creation, with nature. But it starts within me. I have to create a divine life within myself, in my relationship to the body, to the mind, to the senses. Everything should be divinized, and everything should become sacred. All these relationships, my relationship with my senses, my relationship with my breath, my relationship with my prana, my relationship with my mind, my relationship with the body, should become a sacred relationship. And in the Hatha Yoga, I remember many years back when Swami Supananda, our teacher, gave a lecture about the Hatha Yoga and how it creates this process of sacredness within us. He talked about three kinds of relationships, three kinds of poles, polarities, that seems to be, different, that seems to be away. And the science of Hatha Yoga should bring them together, bring them into yoga, into union. And not just a union, but a sacred union. The whole journey of Hatha Yoga is about sacred union. So what are those polarities? He was talking about three dimensions. The first one is the outer and the inner. We have a dichotomy. We have our inner world, and there is the outer world. And sometimes the inner world is a very scary place, and we are running away from that scary place outward to the engagement with the objects, to engagement with things, and we find our safety outside. We found our safety in the partner, and we are leaning on a partner. He is the source of love. He is the source of security. He is the source of happiness. He is the source of pleasure. He is the source of security. Or sometimes, if it's not a partner can also be a dog or a cat, you know. But it can be a work, a career, money, house, position, possessions. So we can become workaholics. You know, we are just focusing all our attention, all our energy, everything on the outside. Then some people are really afraid of the outside. The outside is a very scary place. So they become really introverted. They try to, you know, hide themselves in their conch shell, you know, withdraw themselves, not engage, not be seen, not be heard, not be touched. Because this outer place is a very scary place. And it's a very hurting place. And I don't want it. So the first thing that Hatha Yoga is teaching us is how to connect those two places. Because sometimes, you know, in our life, let's say normative life, the attention, the light is out there. The sun is in the waking state. The sun is in the world of the objects. And the night, the dark place is within. You know, there is not too much attention there. There is no too much awareness in our subconscious mind. So the idea is to, Hatha Yoga, unite that sun and moon, this day and night. Bring the sun of awareness that is usually turned with the senses out there into the object. Bring the sun into that inner world, which is usually represented by dream and sleep. So the waking state, which is usually directed outwards, is merged with the sleep world, the inner world. And we are taking it not because we are afraid of the world, not because we are running away from the world, not because we cannot achieve things in the world, because we are running away from competition, because competition is too harsh, it's too, brutal. No, we're taking the sun in order to illumine the inner. So this is the first thing. We take the breath, and by the breath, we bring the attention inwards. We start to illumine all the inner nature. How do we feel within our skin? How the pranas, how the different functions, the different energies, how things are operating. Usually we learn how to operate things on the outside, machines, things, but we have very little clues about how things are operating on the inside. We're just, when we engage with food, we just eat. Our engagement is only like mouth long, like the tongue long, and then once we swallow, we forget. We don't know what's going on. So bring the sun of awareness inwards is the first union. Bring the waking state of which is usually in the domain of the outer, bring this awareness into the domain of the inner, which is the domain of sleep, usually, and unawareness. Then and as we bring it, we create more harmony, we create more how would I say it, balance, recalibration, and a purification. Because usually, we are really annoyed by the body for some really ununderstandable reason. When things, many times these days, people are suffering from all kinds of disorders. Name a few. Give me some disorders. Sleep disorder. More. Huh? Anxiety disorder. Or emotional disorders. Yeah, what else? Hmm? Skin? Skin disorder? Wow, this is a new one. I never, skin, oh my God. Okay, okay. Even in my skin is in disorder. Okay, what else? Okay, eating disorders, digestion disorders, what else?
Attention.
Hmm?
Attention.
Attention disorder, deficit disorder, right? So we have so many mental disorders, emotional disorders, physically functional disorders. You'll tell me, why are there so many disorders? Because because you don't pay attention and you don't clean up. You allow the disorders to accumulate, build up, build up, build up, build up. And not only that, you are the terrorist. You create so much chaos. Why? Because you just want to eat whenever, sleep whenever, do whatever, watch Netflix forever, watch, this is the disease of this endless screen. You can scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. It will go on forever and will create so much disorder. Because in your system, everything has an end. The waking has an end, the sleeping has an end, eating should have an end, fasting should have an end, like break the fasting through breakfast. Everything has an end. Everything is defined. Everything should be in order. But when you don't pay attention, when you don't bring the sun of awareness, which is usually turned outwards, inwards, and illumine the inner, and see the chaos, and start taking responsibility over your chaos, and start making some order, clean, purify, and sanctify, well, don't be surprised when disorders pop up all over the place. And definitely don't be angry with your system. Don't even be angry with yourself. This is another disorder. People are very much angry with themselves, blaming themselves. This is another disorder. So don't be angry. Just take responsibility, start becoming aware, start organizing, start purifying, start harmonizing, start sanctifying. Your body is a temple. Make it as such. So this is deal 720. I was granted for me. Thank you, Swami. Okay, so next is, so this is in and out. Do you see that the need of it? Do you see that it's going to be a project?
Yeah.
Big project. Now, it's not that you bring the attention once and you clean up. Yeah, I'll do some meditation for a weekend. This is no. Once you understand the importance, you understand that it's going to be for the lifetime. It's not going to stop. This purification, sanctification, harmonizing, it's a non-stop work. Okay. Second is between masculine and feminine. Okay? So inner and out, masculine and feminine, hat and ta. The sun and the moon, yin and yang, or yang and yin. So here, yoga is taking us to a whole different level. Inner and out are okay. But yin and yang, or yang and yin, is taking us to another whole level of understanding of ourselves. Because Swami Shivananda says the Atma, the soul, or the even the Jiva, not going into the Atma, even the Jiva, even the soul, is neither male nor female. You have a male or female body, hardware, and mind, software, which create for you a male or female experience. But you, the experiencer, is neither this nor that. Now, our tendency is to be totally identified by the experience. Why? Because it's so obvious. This is what I feel myself to be. This is my experience. How can I deny? The yogi said, don't deny the experience. The experience is the experience. But you are something beyond the experience. You are the light that illumines that experience. And this yoga, which unites the sun and the moon, the ha and the ta, the male and the female, the prana and the apana, should bring, in the outer world, in the natural world, when the male and female principles unite, it is for what sake? Why on earth, Mother Nature and Father God, why on earth, the Heavenly Father, why on earth they created the male and female principle, these two polarities? It was for the union, and for this union to bring what? Huh? To bring what? Huh? Life to reproduce, to create more life forms. Right? This is the principle, to create varieties of forms, because the more simple life forms, they don't have sex, they don't have gender, they just procreate by duplicating themselves, right? How do you call it? Like, they just how do you call it? Replication, right? They replicate themselves. But in order to create variety, then you need both sexes that will unite their chromosomes and create a new creation. When you can, within yourself, balance the male and female energies, and then within yourself, unite the male and female energies, this is a very sacred, very secret process that is learned in the more advanced Hatha yoga. First of all, we balance them with like Anuloma Viloma, the alternate nostril breathing. We are bringing both energies, the sun and the moon, into balanced state, and this balanced state becomes more and more and more powerful. But eventually the idea is to unite the prana and the apana, and to create what is called pranapana. And when this pranapana is created, this unification is happening, and then it starts to move into the Sushumna, the central channel upwards. It allows something new to be born. We know who is born? Who is born? Who is born? You are born. This is called the second birth. Jesus was saying to Nicodemus, he said, that which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the spirit is spirit. When that, after creating the sanctification and creating the harmony, when these two energies, when your energies, which are polarized, can be united in a sacred union within, your spiritual journey is born. This is a journey within the Sushumna, which is going to create the last unification. the unification of heaven and earth, of, of nature and the of pure consciousness, of Shiva and Shakti, where the Shakti, where the nature is being taken up along the Sushumna through all the chakras, dissolving each element into the next, from the grossest, from the earth element and material, solid matter, slowly through all the elements, all the way up to the mind, and emerge eventually with the unification of Shiva and Shakti in the Sahasrara chakra, realizing that all is coming from pure consciousness. So this is the divine journey and the sacred journey of Hatha Yoga. This is what it's all about. It's not about you bring the leg over the head, becoming a human pretzel. It's about learning how to create those sacred unions between outer and inner, male and female, and earth and heaven. Om